I would ask you each just to call to your mind something about yourself, about your life, maybe your past, maybe a perspective, maybe an attitude, good, bad, or indifferent, that you have never shared with anyone else. Now, there might be a few of you here who are exceptionally transparent. You can just sort of watch from the sidelines for this exercise. But sadly, the vast majority of us have at least one thing that we've kept hidden from the world. Call to mind what it is, and then I would ask you just to consider, why is it a secret? Is it a point of shame for you? You feel if it were to be known that maybe people would treat you differently or would look down on you, or you would lose some sort of status in their eyes in some way. Maybe years ago you won hundreds of millions of dollars in the lottery and you want to make sure the family doesn't know yet. One of the loneliest aspects of our lives is the fear that there is something about us that, if it were truly known, would cause us to be rejected by ones we love, or would, cast us out of our communities in some way, or impose upon us some level of responsibility that we just don't want. And so we keep it hidden, we keep it secret. And it's lonely because, for us human beings, knowing and loving are connected. We cannot love what we don't know first. And even knowing that on a subconscious level at least, we still tend to keep ourselves hidden. We keep the deepest truths sometimes about who and what we are secret from even those closest to us. Sadly, even couples who have been married for decades often never reach the level of transparency and honesty with one another that they can really say, yeah, I know everything, and my spouse knows everything. And even there, it is often out of fear. This gospel story we have just heard about the encounter between Jesus and the Samaritan woman, it's a story about an encounter with someone who has very much kept herself hidden. Some deep truths about herself hidden. And not only does Jesus see her there in the middle of the day at the well, but he sees her deeply for who and what she really is. At first, this is off-putting. You notice that as soon as he points out, oh, that's right, you don't have a husband. You've had 5. And now there's another one, and he's not a husband anyway. Yep, that's true. Notice how quickly she changes the subject after that. Oh, you're a prophet. Now you people say, and goes on this stuff about the temple and the mountain and all of this business. She couldn't change the subject fast enough. Doesn't it often shock us, unsettle us, when something that we have been keeping hidden is all of a sudden it's out? Or we encounter somebody who is a bit empathic. They really see us. It's scary sometimes. to be seen on such a deep level. But then notice what Jesus does not do. He never condemns this woman. He never rejects her. He never talks down to her. He offers himself to her. In fact, more than that, he lets her see that he is desirous of a very special kind of relationship with her, a special kind of spiritual bond with her. It's the first time in the Gospels that we hear Jesus say, "Yeah, I'm the one. I'm the Messiah. I'm the one you've been waiting for. I want to do something for you. I want to give you something no one else can give you." And notice how that transforms this woman. Notice how quickly she goes from being someone who hides from her community. That's what Scripture scholars will tell you. Nobody draws water in the middle of the day. That's something you do before sunrise and after sunset. The only reason you do that in the middle of the day is because you want to be there at the watering hole when no one else is around. And she goes from there back to the town. She goes back there and she starts saying to everyone, "I just met somebody who told me everything I'd ever done. Me. I met somebody who could tell me that. You've got to come see this guy. Could it be? Could he really be the one we've been waiting for, the Messiah?" You see, love transforms us. God's love most of all. When we accept the fact that, like it or not, God does see all. God does see us in our fullness. God sees us with all of our wounds, all of our sin, all of our weakness, as well as all of our talents, all of our skill, all of our capacity and potential, and loves us. God will never manipulate his knowledge of us. He just uses it to love us more deeply. And what he really offers us is just a relationship of love. A relationship where he loves us and we get to love him. We, with all of our warts and our shortcomings, our fears and our doubts, our insecurities, and him, with his goodness, his perfection. Yes, we will even get to see him more and more as he really is, if we allow ourselves to be known in that relationship, and if we keep walking with him step by step. That, my brothers and sisters, is the journey of discipleship. That is what transforms us. That is what leads us ultimately to salvation. Now, there's one correction I have to make to what Matt said before the Mass, because the good news train is not over. We have in our community someone who has begun this journey of discipleship just a little while ago. Today, we will pray for her in a special way. We will ask God's blessing upon her. We will intercede for her that she will know ever greater freedom in her walk with the Lord, to know him and to be known. We celebrate this publicly, Not only for her benefit, though, it's a reminder to all of us that it is very often that painful, fearful thing of allowing ourselves to be known that is what will grow our relationship with God. That the more we hold ourselves back from each other and from Him, the more we're just holding back our growth. So may our prayer this day for Jennifer on her ongoing journey toward baptism at this year's Easter Vigil also be something that reminds us and awakens within us that passion, that desire to continue growing in our bond with Jesus, knowing and being truly known. Peace be with all of you this day, and with all who love the Lord in simplicity of heart.